Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to St. Bart's. That is the famous island passing underneath us right now. Airport right off the right wingtip there. As we are descending into VC Bird International Airport in Antigua. So, let's have a look here at what's going on. We are in the descent. This is the featured destination this week for American Virtual Airlines, and so that's why we're doing this. First of all, let me real quick turn off the headphone simulation. I always turn it on during cruise because I just don't feel like listening to the noise. But I have to turn it back off during the descent because otherwise I don't hear the altitude callouts, which is a bummer. I don't know why that is. In the ATR, I do get the altitude callouts, which doesn't make any sense. So, turn that off real quick. Let's get a look here at ye old FMC. Descent forecast 4,000 is our. I hate these. Oh, it does actually give a transition level. Transition level 4,000. Transition level 4,000, which is sort of ridiculous. That's only slightly less ridiculous than not having one at all. 1015. Let's go over there. 1015. And then we'll go 101. No, whoopsie. Alright. Come on there, Mr. FMC. I've got the FMC running on my iPad. 1015. And there we go. So, we're looking pretty good, I suppose. What would also look pretty good is this view, I'm sure, because now that we're past St. Bart's, we're looking back towards St. Bart's and St. Martin. I'm sure it's a cool view, and it is. This is such a gorgeous airplane. Alright, 073073, we do not have to tune the radios because this is an RNAV approach. 2000, let's put in our range rings here. We probably are already late to do that. It's my first day back flying the 737 after flying the ATR for a couple days. I enjoy flying the ATR. The only thing about flying the ATR, I mean, it's a combination, I'm sure, of two things. First of all, the fact that it's just not as clean an airplane as the PMDG 737, and what I mean by clean is, let's see, 188. What I mean by clean is, change that. See, I've got right here, I've got my two speed restrictions, or speed, I don't know if restriction is the right word, there to help get me slowed down for the approach. Alright, drag required, that seems like a reasonable request. You can see that there. And bring these in a little bit. And I'll set this on progress 2 because that gives me my headwind and my crosswind component. Let's take a real quick look at the weather. 11011. Be a little bit of a right crosswind then. So, alright, RNAV approach 073073 2000 in. Let's get the missed approach altitude 630. Up to missed approach altitude. Minimum descent altitude is 630. Get that in. It's just not as refined, the ATR. I think that's the best way to put it. And it's such a cool airplane. I love the ATR. I really enjoy flying the ATR. It's just not. Well, let me put it to you this way: it is not refined, and neither am I. You know, am I an ATR pilot? Nope. No, I'm not. So far be it for me to say whether the airplane is accurate, accurately modeled, or whether the FMC is well modeled. Our airport elevation 50 feet, we got that in. Climb to 2,500 direct LiDAR. So yeah, it's a straight out missed approach. The dash line is the missed approach on the JEP chart. I went and flew actual approaches this weekend with a buddy of mine. I need to keep my IFR currency. And so I've mentioned this before. JEP charts in the real world are extraordinarily expensive. I actually checked my ForeFlight subscription, and I have the privilege and honor of being able to update or upgrade my ForeFlight subscription to include JEP charts for the low price of $430 for the United States only, that is, by the way. So if I wanted to, I could update my JEP charts or update my ForeFlight subscription to get JEP charts for $430 for a year. Meanwhile, on Navigraph, which uses JEP charts, these are the JEP charts. There's no difference between these and the one I'm paying $430 for. Worldwide JEP charts for planet Earth would be, I don't know, $3,000, $4,000, $4,000 probably. And what do I pay for them with Navigraph and Microsoft Flight Simulator? $9 a month. Maybe $8 a month. Could I go use these JEP charts or use these Navigraph charts in real life? Sure. Would I? No. Number one, you want to make sure that there's no difference, and there's no way to know that there's no difference unless you actually had the JEP chart. So I know there's no difference, but there's always that bit of doubt, and that's number one. It's a stupid idea. Number two, it's illegal. And I'm not in the habit of doing things that are illegal, particularly when it comes to flying. Radio call here. VC Bird traffic, American 25905 is 30 miles to the northwest, inbound runway 7, VC Bird. So it's just not something you would do if you have even a modicum of intelligence. But is it annoying? Yes. So when I was doing my instrument rating, was it 2 years ago? 2 summers ago. Summer 2021. I got the JEP charts. It was a lot less expensive at that point because I don't think ForeFlight had been purchased by Boeing, which of course everybody knew was going to make the prices go through the roof, and they did. But I got them at that time because they're just, if you've ever seen an FAA chart versus a JEP chart, it's like it's hard to really describe the difference. The JEP charts are just so much better organized. They have so much more information available on them. For example, things that the FAA charts don't have is this right here. This is ALS out. So if you're coming in for a landing in the approach light system, which is this right here, the high intensity approach light system is out, what is the difference in your landing minimums? There is a change to your landing minimums. Now, if you're flying using FAA charts, you have to look that up in an index at the back of the charts. So you're flipping through pages, or you're hitting buttons on your iPad trying to figure out where the heck the stupid alternate minimums are. Whereas in the JEP charts, it's right here. It's just a visibility difference, because what does this do? This helps you see the runway sooner, or the runway environment, as the FAA calls it. So it makes sense that it's not a lower minimum or a higher minimum. It's a difference in visibility requirement. So what's the point of this? When I did my approaches this weekend, I was doing them using JEP charts, and it feels like you're doing it. It just feels like you're like trying to play the piano with gloves on. It just, I don't know. It's hard to describe, but JEP charts are just the best. So we're coming up here to the decel spot here. 151. Turn this. Let's see, our initial approach fix is Keyboard. We're 10 miles from that, so we'll hit the approach button. I know that not all of the 737 operators have this option. I will pretend that I do. Alright, so final approach course and glide path are in the backup. Minimums are set. I am going to arm the speed brakes. I am going to set the auto brakes to 3. It's a short-ish runway, 7,000 something feet. And we will just kind of meander our way. Sometimes you get these white patches in this area. You see them at Juliana sometimes. I don't quite know what they are. It's really unfortunate, but what are you gonna do? So anyway, the whole thing that got me on this tangent. So this is a non-standard hold. No, this is a standard holding pattern, right turns. So we come out the LIDOC, continue on to Imusu, outbound. I would do a teardrop entry, outbound -30, so 043 heading for 4 nautical miles. Come back around, getting the hold there. So our speed is going to be 150, so figure it's going to be right about 800 feet a minute. 3-degree glide slope. Visual descent point is 1.6 from runway 7. Bopar is a 6-mile final. We have runway end identifier lights, a precision approach path indicator, and high intensity approach light system, but you guys knew that because you are on the ball. Alright. BC Road traffic, American 25905 is Keyboard inbound on the RNAV 07. That is a 10-mile left base runway 7, BC Bird. So, Amali is where I want 188, so I'm going to go degree of flaps there. That on, lights are on, Alright. Let's get this one. Let's get this one. I want to make a good landing. This can be a tricky one. The displace threshold is visually strange. You usually get a little bit of I don't know, kind of turbulence. Around this airfield. So like I said, I really want to get this one. I want to make this a good one. BC Bird traffic, American 25905, turning a 10-mile final, runway 07, BC Bird. Alright, Amali is 11 miles. So I am going to go 5 degrees of flaps here.
2500.
And let's start slowing down our aeroplane.
2500.
Alright. Looking good here. Beaupart 3.2. 1 mile from Beaupart is the 7-mile final. Alright. Speed brake is armed. Auto brake is set. 5 flaps. Lights are on. Engine start is on continuous. .1 from Beaupart is 7 miles. And that's where I'm going to go gear down flaps 15. I know most people wouldn't. It's fine with me. You do you. BC Bird traffic, American 25905, 7-mile final, runway 7, BC Bird. We will go gear down. We will go flaps 15. And this will bring about a change in our engine spool behavior and our pitch attitude. Slowing down here, slowing down. BC Bird traffic, American 25905, 5-mile final, runway 7, BC Bird. Alright, so now I will go 30 degrees of flaps, and that should spool the engines up here. Alright, 1600 for 630. Start making your altitude call outs. $1,400 for 630. Alright. 1,300 for 630. Alright, we seem to be well settled here.
1,000.
Alright. Autopilot is off. Auto throttle disarmed my airplane. BC Bird traffic, American 25905, 2-mile final, runway 07, BC Bird. Alright, little bit of power here. Bring that nose up a little bit.
Approaching minimums.
Yeah. Okay.
5 on minimums.
Okay.
Four hundred.
Yeah, a little bit of that right crosswind there.
300. 200. 100. 100. 50. 40. 30. 30. 20. 20. 10. 10.
You know what? There's an up. There's a certain part of the runway. There's a little bit of an upslope. And I just hit right into it. I'm fairly certain anyway that I just hit right into it. If we look back, I don't have, I should enable the, the replay function. So I'm fairly certain that I just slammed the airplane right into that upslope. And it's one of those ones that's there, and I mean you're aware of it. That wasn't too bad. I didn't bounce. I thought I had bounced. I probably just rode the crest of that. 304 foot per minute descent. VC Bird traffic American 25905 is clear of runway 07 VC Bird. And yeah, I mean it's I don't know, you know, whatever. I felt like that approach deserved a bit more than it got. In terms of, I felt the approach was better than the result. But that's all right. That's all right. I really enjoy flying into this airport. It's nice to be back in the 737. Suppose I should make a longer video here at some point. This is the most important part of the flight, by the way, the parking. Gotta get this right. Gotta get this right. Alright. Parking brake. Kill the engines. Turn the seatbelt sign off before you get killed by a mob of angry people. The taxi let off so we don't blind this poor guy. Yeah, so I suppose I should make a longer video here at some point. I really should actually get in the in one of the GA planes here at some point and do what I'm famous for. You know. Which is to say nothing, of course. I'm not famous. Because there's so many developments, right? Like Flight Simulator 2024. What does everybody think of that? I personally think it's the greatest thing. I mean, you know, I'm so excited about it, you know. You have to imagine that it's going to be a lot more polished out of the gates than this was. And by a lot more, I mean a lot more. I'm still waiting for that air conditioning card to get connected so I can turn the packs off. So I don't. Oh, okay, here we go. Turn the bleeds off, turn the packs off. I don't sweat people to death. And we'll go into the doors page and we'll open that door. You know, I mean, you've got to figure it's gonna be a lot more polished out of the gates than this simulator was. And I would also venture to guess that it's going to, you know, people are kind of focused on everything. It's like our nature in the sim world. It's like what can we think negative? What can we possibly think and say negative about something? And I mean, you're talking to the world's biggest pessimist here, but my guess is I could have parked this airplane better. That's my guess. That's what I was aiming for. You know, in terms of like the videos showing, you know, the helicopter rescue and blah blah blah, and people are saying, you know, oh, this isn't even going to be a full-fledged simulator. It's just going to be, you know, a you know, scenario-based game, essentially, whatever. You know, number one, it means that the simulator is economically viable, which is the most important thing, because that's the only reason Microsoft does this. They don't do it because they have any affinity for us. And let's check out this really cool airport too. This is a great scenery if you guys want. It's great scenery, a great airport. The departure is really cool out over the water, obviously. But it's economically viable, which is a really important thing, arguably the most important thing. And it's probably going to be better than this one, because otherwise they wouldn't do it, you know. I mean, I think they could easily keep working with what they have here, but they clearly think they can do better. So Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024, bring it on, baby. I hope you guys enjoyed the flight and the landing, and we will see you again next time.